somewhat early today. Well, it took me a couple of minutes to fiddle with the buttons and all that stuff, but uh, that and I actually landed a space without having to wait on it, which is cool. It happens, but when you have one shift, that doesn't leave, you got one coming in, one that's not left yet. That happens. But good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? Um, as I said the other day, somebody goes, "Why don't you do Doctor Who News like a legitimate news program would?" And of course, I answered them because there isn't any. All we know now is everybody's in panic mode because Disney hasn't signed on the dotted line for series 3 yet. And I know there's lots of people running around the streets going, "It's over, show's doomed, it's ruined." But what's made me die laughing is somebody today was going on and on about various things like Sutek is now guilty of cultural appropriation, and I'm like, wow, you must be really pissed off at Stargate then. And of course, the other usual tropes, so racist things in the Celestial Toy Maker, blah, 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 blah. You have to remember, this was half a century ago some of these episodes were written. But they said, why bring back all these people in rapid succession, all that, like the Toy Maker, blah, blah, if they're so controversial? Write something new. And I'm like, maybe because we had somebody do that back in Series 11, and people threw fits. Or, I mean, back in, sorry, I got my numbers off. It was back in Jodie's first series. Actually, I think that was series. Well, okay, back in Jodie's first series, Chibnall said there was going to be none of the, old enemies in that series. I'll never forget because there was people pounding their heads, screeching, when in the following, seasons he brought back Daleks and all that. And it's like, no, he said there was going to be none in that series, as in that particular series of episodes, that season. Never said he wasn't going to do them completely. Well, sorry, it's just the old brain's rusting out. I just wanted to be sure, because. But, so he created all new enemies. And guess what happened? They're talking like, oh, God. Ugh. They were starting to sound like that cat in the old BBC adverts. I think it was Charlie says, let me know in the comments if I got it right. Where the kid, this completely creepy ass kid would do all these crazy shit, and the cat would try to tell him, don't do that, but it would sound like, and no, I have no choice in that. Sometimes it just does that. They think it might be a nerve impulse caused by like a side effect of one of my medications. And trust me, it makes driving fun, especially when you're on the highway. Oh, I remember that movie, yeah. Where he played Charles Manson, yeah. They called it Charlie Says. But, so if anybody remembers those old adverts with the cat, like Charlie Says, never talk to strangers or something, and the music was creepy, the kid was creepy, oh man, it was just outright frightening. But like I said, there's no news to report other than, they're going to, I think someone said it's pronounced Mallorca. It looks like Mallorca, but it's spelled Mallorca, Spain, to do some filming for War Between the Land and the Sea. And that's all that's going on right now is filming for War Between the Land and the Sea. Yeah, they made a song out of that, by the way, Mark. Look it up. I saw it on a short somewhere. They're eating our cats. They're eating the dogs. They're eating our pets. I can't remember how it goes, but uh, but back on track. As far as Doctor Who goes, all we got going on right now is everybody's speculating on when they're going to start filming Series 3 because, and I'm like, well, you've already got Series 1 and 2 in the can, 2 ready to go. You got the Christmas special coming up this year. And that's going to be Joy to the World, of course. Written by the Mofat. And what else is going on? That's right. But Disney said they're not going to give a yay or a nay until the second series airs, which has put everybody into a panic. Now, why they'd be waiting on Disney is beyond me, because all Disney is in control of is distribution. Now, it could be because Disney has, helped with the budget. Well, yeah, they're speculating because Disney's not going to give a yay or a nay until the second series airs, and that could potentially put Series 3 filming back, which means you get no Doctor Who until 2026. And I'm truly hoping they aren't going to be this damn stupid, because one of the things they promised with this whole new 8-episode format was that you weren't going to have any more skip seasons, no more delays, and yada yada and all that. They should have had a plan in place in case Disney doesn't show up. They should have already... I'd like to think RTD, like you said, was already writing on the Series 3 episodes. I'd get those hammered out, get your final drafts handed in, at least get the scripts ready. If worse comes to worse, you'll probably just sell them the Big Finish if something happens. All right? Because they did that with a lot of the unaired episodes from back in the 80s. You know, if you look around on Big Finish, they got the Nightmare Fair, which was supposed to be the episode Colin Baker era, where, he went to Blackpool, and that's when he would have met the toy maker again, was back then. Had that season actually happened. Then there were scripts that were written for the 27th season that didn't happen. And they became Big Finish audios as well. So I'm hoping that's what they're doing, is at least getting the scripts ready and in place. And if I was them, I wouldn't wait on Disney. It's the BBC that makes the final cut. They're the guillotine. If they decide the series is done, they decide the series is done. Disney has nothing to do with that decision. Just like when they were running around saying Disney fired Shidigawa. Shidigawa is not an employee of the Disney Corporation. Shidigawa is an employee of the British Broadcasting Corporation. He has nothing to do with Disney at all. Disney just has the streaming and distribution rights, to put it on their thing along with everything else. Yeah, that's all we have is filming is probably delayed, and it's like, so everybody's in a panic mode. And it's like, I think what's going on is Disney is now playing conservative football, as we say. They're really, really worried, considering the only major hit I think they've had in several years is the Deadpool and Wolverine movie. Everything else has really went down the toilet and went down fast. And yeah, well, there is no Twitter. There's only X. And I really can't stand X anymore either. I'm getting sick and tired of when I go to repost something, we can't perform this action because it appears to be automatic and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, You're acting like I just tweeted 10 things in a row. This is the first thing I've reposted anything today. Or the first time I've posted anything today. And you get some computer thing you got to fight with. Oh, yeah, I heard the Alkalite budget was ridiculous. And, of course, it tanked. Now, I have no dog in that fight because I never watched any of the Acolyte. I had no interest in it. And because after I saw the light whip in the trailer, I'm like, I'm out. Just as fast as when I saw they were doing lens flares and shit like that for the new Star Trek series, back in, when they first aired it. I think for Starship Dysentery. I'm like, nope, I'm out. I'll never forget that argument because they're like, why are you giving it a chance? I said, because I've already read the synopsis. They're putting it like 10 years before the time of Kirk and Spock. He's like, so? He goes, I can tell you exactly what's going to happen. They're going to take out a bunch of shit from the original series that was major hits, and then they're going to reuse it in some desperate attempt to make this fly. Sure enough, first series, you had the Mirror Universe, you had this, they went to Talos 4, even though all Starfleet records show only one vessel had ever gone to Talos 4, and that was the Enterprise under Pike. But of course, everybody, I guess, was going to Talos 4 for shits and giggles before the Enterprise ever got there. And nobody filed a report either, because showing that the planet was empty or anything. And of course, they had this incredible war machine that could outdo everything with hyper warp quantum whatever jumps, and of course it was one of the major mistakes they made in some of the things, like you're never going to I think you've only seen one reference to the Genesis torpedo since the Star Trek movies, and that was in Picard if I remember right. And I'm like, wait a minute, you've got an enemy like the Borg coming down on your ass with an entire fleet, and you couldn't make Genesis torpedoes to take them out. But like I said, I really lost all interest in the side series and all that a long time ago for Star Wars. I never finished Rebels. I don't think I finished Clone Wars. It's just... So when they brought out, Ahsoka Tano, and then they start doing all these references to Rebels and blah, blah, this, and now Sabine's a Jedi Ninja Mandalorian and all that, I'm like, or whatever her name is, I don't care. I'm like, Sabine Wren, that's right. I'm like, oh, so now she has Force abilities. When did that happen? Did she catch a case of the Force like the clap or something? What? Like, I almost checked out on the prequels about when they went on about midi-chlorians. I'm like, what? Well, yeah, if it hadn't have been for Lucille Ball, you wouldn't have had Star Trek, because everybody else was in favor of dumping it after the original pilot, if I remember correctly. She's considered to be the grandmother or godmother of Star Trek, something along that line. And because she's the one who believed in it and made sure, they got another pilot and all that. And well, the thing is, I haven't seen the Web Planet in decades. So I'd have to sit down and rewatch it before I could tell you. There's a lot of episodes I haven't seen in a long, long time, I hate to admit. Yeah, Planet of the Daleks, I've watched that one not that long ago because I got it with the Pertwee Dalek collection. Sadly, I can't watch it right now because my new system doesn't have a Blu-ray or DVD-ROM or whatever that thing is. They've stopped putting them into systems now because the players they put on most computers here were region freeze. That's why I told a friend of mine, I go, you went out and you shelled out money for a used DVD player because, how many dollars? Because the guy converted it to region free. He goes, yeah, I got a bargain. I said, well, I got some bad news for you. You got a computer? Yeah, guess what? The player on it's region free. You get to sit there and watch those on your system. I got an old 32-inch flat screen on my system that used to be our TV. So I can, but the thing is, I don't have a player anymore because the new system doesn't have a player. YouTube went to war. They've been trying to come up, you blocker, and that's the one that's pissing them off because they haven't found a way around it yet. You blocker. I didn't say that. What did I say? Oh, that means the video is going to probably get taken down now because I said that dirty word. That's the one they haven't beat yet, as far as I know. I died laughing because before I go, there was yet another channel on there that, I've been seeing an increase in this as well. A bunch of these reaction channels have the nerve to come on. Why is YouTube targeting us? And I'm like, I have to hold back because I know if I say anything, I'm going to get ripped. That's why I usually don't bother to comment on any of these other videos 90% of the time anymore. Because you were violating copyright law. You're making money off somebody else's work. You can put up the Copyright Act of 1976 all you want, but you're not falling within its guidelines. Matter of fact, the first thing these guys say, we're not going yet, give it another minute, we got a little time yet. See, Lady G's in a hurry to get out of here. It's like, I have to put up with this guy how many hours a day? But the first thing you're going to hear in a lot of these videos is, but if you come to our Patreon, you can see our unedited reactions. It's like, congratulations, you just advertised that you're going to have people pay you money to watch your reaction to the full movie, which was made by somebody else. That's a blatant violation of the Copyright Act. And then they wonder why they hit. But okay, I do have to get going anyway. So take care, everybody. Enjoy your Monday. Be kind, be calm, be safe. We'll see you all on the flip side. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll hopefully see you all tomorrow morning. If I hit the right button, hang on a second. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Hang on, it's over here. I don't want to start a poll. I want to...